On, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of scaling an offer to $1 million a month in real time. And in this episode, we're going to be diving into the churn problem. Now, this single-handedly decreased our cash collected 26.8% from January to February. So we went from $469,000 to $339,000 in 1 month, in 30 days. And I'm going to be diving into this video on exactly how that happened and how we prevented it. So January is 449, February was 339, and then January, February, March we just did 550. So we did 200K plus delta compared to February just by fixing this problem. So this video is going to be super valuable. Let's dive right in. All right, so welcome to the churn problem. Now, this is what happens when you don't deal with this problem. And the reason I'm going into this video first before anything else, because you're like, okay, we're at 463. I thought we're scaling an offer to $1 million a month from scratch. Well, we are, but you're going to need this video early on to understand the importance of it so you don't get hit with this down the line. So in January, we did 463K. In February, we did 339,000 in cash collected. Because revenue, guys, if you're talking about revenue, just get off this video. We're only about cash collected here. But anyways, this is a 26.8% decrease month over month. Now, this is not due to funnel not working, sales reps not closing. It's not due to that. It's not due to anything you might think it is, or ads not working. It's none of that. It was a pure talent issue. And I want you to take this theme with you wherever you go. Expect the unexpected, because what happened from this month to this month, we lost 2 of our top performers. And we didn't have preparation ready to lose a top performer, which you need to have that. Because if you're reliant on a top performer for your company, for your offer, and you lose them, well, you should have someone else to take their spot ready to go, or have closers ramping, which we didn't, right? So I'm going to break this down. January did 463K. If you look at these 2 performers here, 122K and then 83K cash collected, these people, one of them churned, one of them had a kid, right? So obviously the one who churned was this person, and yeah, they left the company. And then this person obviously had a child, which is a little unexpected. We didn't know. So we were unprepared. So automatically, if you just look at what they brought in that month, that's 200K that's going to be wiped from cash collected. So we were like, oh shit, we don't have someone ready to go who's at that level to take their spot. So the next month we did 339K because everybody else here is now ramping to get to that level. So to help you understand this a little bit better, our team kind of looked like this. So we had these 2 top performers, right? Let me just make this a little bigger. We had these 2 top performers right here, and they essentially churned. Now, if you look at the ramp-up time to become a profitable closer for this offer, the other closes were early in their ramp-up stages. So we had people on week 2, week 1, week 1, week 2. So they weren't profitable yet where we could fully spend into their calendar. So these closers were getting full spend. Like, I'm booking them out. I'm spending a full webinar into each of their calendars. With these closers, they're ramping up, so they're not at that level to take the full spend. So what happens when these 2 people leave? Well, no one is at their level as of yet, so we can't fully spend into their calendar because they're not ready. So we weren't ready for this. And we definitely became a little bit too comfortable knowing that we did have top performers, which is a good thing to have top performers, but you don't have someone to take their spot, ramping into their level, you're toast. So how do you fix this? Well, you need to develop a talent ecosystem. Okay. Now, we do have a head of recruitment, and at the time, like, we just weren't going as hard with recruiting. We were a little comfortable. We're like, okay, we have enough people, yada, yada, yada. We don't need to recruit. So as soon as they left, we had to now tell our head of recruitment, we got to go get somebody now. So now he has to go and look and find someone. He's got to do interviews. He's got to do all these things to find this person. So that adds a delay. That's a week delay. That could be a week delay, right? And a week delay when you're running these kind of numbers and you're spending 50 to 60K per webinar is a big bottleneck. So how do you solve this? How do you develop a talent ecosystem? Well, number one, I want you guys to understand something. If you have a top performer who's a big anomaly from the rest of the team, it's good that you have a top performer, but it's a dangerous spot to be in because there shouldn't be such a big gap between this person and the person who's catching up to them or in second. If it's a big gap like this, you're in a bad spot because if that person churns, you're toast. So don't get comfortable, right? You need to make sure you have enough training, you have enough talented reps that could take that spot. So don't become comfortable, don't become reliant on a top performer. Now, developing a talent ecosystem, right? The first thing I want you guys to do to understand this is figure out what is your average ramp up time, okay? So as we're ramping every closer, we track week to week what their numbers are. So over time, we're able to develop what is the average ramp time with our systems and process, right? So for us, I'm just gonna give you guys an example here. You're gonna take, red is ramping, unprofitable, and then green is profitable. So we got very red, slightly red, just a little red, then profitable. So how you guys should be viewing hiring is, where does someone become profitable? Where you could fully book out their calendar, fully spend into it. Understand that when you hire someone, you're gonna see that money truly come from them 30 days out in this example. So you figured that out, and you need to compare that to your 90-day running cost per call. So if your cost per call, I'm just going to use an example, $500, and it takes you, let's say, 4 weeks to get a closer to be at 500 and above, you know, for every hire you make, in 30 days, they'll be at that level. So once you understand that, you know that, cool, if I hire someone on the 1st of April, by April 30th, they're going to be profitable. The issue was, we were not hiring. And when the people left, everybody else was in the early stages and we didn't have anyone to take their spot. So we had to really pull back spend. We had to pull everything back and just really hire. Now that's why on our recent month, we did 550K. So we went from 463 to 339 to 550. And the reason we did 550 is because of the hires right here that were hired in January were ramping up, right? And then there's a bunch of more closers we added in February. So now they've all ramped up and we have a bigger ecosystem. So what does it look like now? It looks like this. This is the current day, current line. We have a closer here that's green, closer here that's green, 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 green. We got these people that are ramping to get to green. Now, the cool thing is, let's say these 3 people at the top leave. What happens is by next, here, I'm gonna give you guys an example. Let's do this a little better. So let's say these people all left, right? These people all leave this week. Well, that sucks, but next week rolls around, what happens? Next week rolls around, boom, we're back. We're already back. We just have 1 person delta. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and as that person is leaving, we're gonna hire more the same week, just like this. So boom, we just hired more. And what happens is now the week after, we're back to where we should be. And instead of a month delay happening, this delay really will be max like 1 week if people churn, right? So that's the protocol we've now taken to protect ourselves from this issue. So you need to expect the unexpected and be prepared for people to churn, right? And one thing we really realized is, why did this person churn, right? We were able to reflect on that and build systems so future talent won't churn. There's obviously still going to be churn, right? You got to understand, some people are going to grow, they want to do other things, that's fine. So you just need to have systems ready in place to to, to basically help you prepare for those things. So now we don't run into things like this. So what you're going to take away from this video is, number one, I need you guys to expect the unexpected. That's very important. You need to always be prepared for some random shit to happen. Now, number two, I want you guys to make sure you always are recruiting at all times. You always have a pipeline. You always have someone ready to go. It should be a quick, easy turnover to get somebody into that spot. And number three, you need to be doing whatever you can to make sure your training and your reps, there's not this huge, you're not reliant on one person. It's not like that for us anymore, right? There's obviously a top performer we have on our team, but it's not like, cool, nobody else could ever collect that much cash. It's not like that. So this is the churn problem, and you need to understand this early on, because as you're scaling up, there's going to be someone who leaves, and what happens is a lot of people are unprepared, and that's why this is episode 2, because you need to understand this one early on. So that's episode two, guys. I hope this helps you so you don't run into this issue. Now, from February to March, I think we had an increase of, let me actually calculate it. So we went from $339,000. So we did $339,000 in February, and we did $550,000 in in March. So because we developed the system, we actually increased our cash. Let me see if I'm doing the math right, guys. 339,000 times 1.61. So we increased our cash from February to March by 61%. So 339,000 in February times 1.61. That's 61%. 1.61. That's 545,000. So from February to March, 61% increase in cash collected, because we had the talent ecosystem, we had the right ramp up process, and now we're prepared for the unexpected. So this video, you must study it religiously. If you have any questions, you can DM me on Instagram. And guys, if you need someone to come in and do this for your offer, if you want to run a webinar, if you want to run 2 webinars a week, book a call in the bio. You'll be speaking with one of my co-founders, KJ. And yeah, let's do something together, guys. All right, I'll see you guys in episode 3. Peace, guys.